Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, we've got one of the people that knows the channel, got a Noble Pro, and he's brought it to me with a curious issue. We have a missing power button. Now, I'm not even going to attempt to work out how this has gone missing, but I can definitely hear it in there. And I've shone me torch into the bottom here, and it looks like the solder pads are ripped clean off the circuit board. So yeah, let's see if we can fix it. So first thing we're going to want to do, we're going to want to remove the power base. You just pull back on it. Then we're going to want to get the phone holder and everything off the top. See what size screwdriver we need for this. So that one's too small. This is a 1.5mm. So we'll get this off. See if we can sort of see what we've got to work with. Now these just pull off the bottom. So you've got two screws in bottom, under them, slight top off, slight bottom off. Right, so let's get you in for a closer look, and you can see what we need to do to get inside the Noble Pro. And this should work for MB4 as well, same case. So let's crack on with it. Right, so we have a whole bunch of tiny little screws on this. So we're going to start with the two right up front. Not sure which will be the easiest way around for you to see this. And these are all 1.5mm so far. And I think off the top of my head, all these are the same size. So should be able to get these out pretty quickly. And I'm pretty sure that there's only one ribbon cable that we need to disconnect on the screen, but you do have to take I think we have to take that variable resistor pot off. So we've got all them screws so we've then got these two little screws in the actual base itself. And then that should let you lift that casing away. And then right in the very bottom, I believe you only need that screw and that screw out. And again, they're both the same length. Let's see. Should be able to carefully, yeah, you can get a sharp blade under that without marking it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, all 1.5mm in top. Then you've got 2 screws and then 2 more screws. Then we need to remove the rubber handle. So I've got to try and carefully get under that. So if you just get screwdriver down back and turn it, you should be able to get the first one off, and then you can just work your way down it, and it is easier to get the opposite side off once you've done that. So don't do any damage to it. So once we've got it down to this sort of position, you've got one more screw right in the base, and again this is a 1.5mm, and you can see the extra buttons at the top that say system reset button. So if you then very carefully just work at the controller and just work your way around, make sure you've got all the screws out, and you just have to keep wiggling it, and it does eventually just pop off. So we can put that to one side. Now, just so we're not going to risk shorting anything out, we can pop the battery out of the holder. These are just an 18650 unprotected cell. That's also all you need to do to change the battery in them. So once we've got down to this level, looking at it, it looks like something's been jabbing at that button, because that's also broken. It still works, but the casing's been split and it's quite scratched on top. And I'm hearing some rattling. So next thing we're going to want to do is carefully just pop up this little Lego style connector, and that's what holds the screen on. So then if we just ever so carefully wobble the screen, and then lo and behold, I think we found the power button, or what's left of it. So I'll not be able to get you a close-up, but I will remember to take a picture of this to show you what's happened to it. But it should have two little pegs on bottom, and both of them are completely broken off. One of them were just sat on top of it, and the metal at the side looks like it's also been sort of prized off, and it looks like the metal contacts at the bottom have been destroyed as well. So it looks like it's had a bit of a rough time. I'm not entirely sure whether that'll be salvageable in any way. It looks pretty beat up. That is pretty destroyed. So it looks like whatever's been jabbed into it has completely ripped it off the circuit board. But moving along, we have 4 extra little screws. And that, for a power button, it is quite a chunky button, so it's took quite a bit of pressure to get that off of the circuit board. So we remove the 4 screws, then it should be able to slide the antenna part out, but the antenna's glued to that, so it's where it actually transmits from. I've seen a few people say it's because of the metal casing, it can't have a good distance, but it's a plastic end cap with the antenna in, so certainly worth bearing in mind. Now we've also got on the back of here, you've got another of these little snap connectors, and that's going to be what connects your screen. So then you just need to gently push down on the actual screen itself and slide forward. You just want to make sure that you're not ripping anything off. And I think we've found what's left of the power button sort of mechanism. And it's also got a lot of residue on here. It kind of looks like it's been wet. So you can sometimes see that on circuit boards when it's got flux left on it, but with it being near the opening, it kind of looks like it's had water on it. So I'm not sure how successful we're going to be at salvaging this. Worst case scenario is it will need a new mainboard, but I'm not sure if they're available. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is try and clean the mess off the circuit board that's been left. So, after checking it, that switch is basically dead. These two pins broke off the back, there's one of the pins broke off the front, and it's not going to hold together. So, short of being able to get a brand new switch, and you can force the switch back together, but it's not going to hold. And the connection prongs on the bottom are both snapped off. They were on circuit board, I've had to pull them off. But the switch still functions, but there's nothing to hold it together, so as soon as you press it, it's just going to rip off at board. Its pegs are missing off at bottom, they locate in the two little holes on the circuit board. So, as options are, either solder a completely different switch into it, or try and get one of them replacements, or an entire new circuit board. But that's about as far as we're going to get with it. Right, so there we have it. That is the issue. So we're going to have to see if we can either get a new one of these switches, which is going to be an absolute nightmare to try and solder in place, but we have got nice clean solder pads on the board, or a new board. But I will have to go back to him and find out what he wants to do. And I'm still really confused as to how that's been pushed in that hard. It's ripped it clean off at circuit board. But as I don't ask questions, I just fix stuff. But at least you get to see how you tear down and get to the screen and the antenna and everything on the Noble Pro, and the MB4's built the same way. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, or anybody else that wants to see what's inside one of these things, and catch you guys again in the next one.